We're really doing this right now. Thank you, YouTube. Don't know what you're doing. Okay, let's try this again. Are we live? I said, are we live? Looks like we are on both platforms, even though this time YouTube was the straggler behind. VigilanteWilliamson here on the second episode of the VSP, aka Vigilante Sports Podcast. This channel's not called Vigilante Sports for whatever reason. I'm still going with vengeance. I guess in case I have to, dump off material that's not quite sports related on this channel. Not dump off, but you know what I mean. Especially because my other channel, God bless it, it is shadow banned still. I'll get new subs. People will sub, and then they will go away. I woke up at 726 subs. I went to sleep. It was 728. So 2 people apparently just randomly decided to unsub for me. Hey, it could happen. I decided to unsub from people, but that has been happening for 2 years, and I have not moved up in years. It's still an issue. I didn't realize. Hey, Dempsey, I didn't realize you don't have the mod power over here. Neither does you, Mike. Do either of you want to be mods? You guys are a long time. Well, this has been around for a minute. You guys are dope. You guys want the mod power on this channel as well? It's up to you. It's up to you guys. This is the sports channel, as I keep calling it affectionately. So we are going to talk about sports. But even though we talk about sports, we love sports. They're fun. They're rigged. They're entertainment. But they're rigged. Not only are they rigged from the league level. I'm not a worshiper of persons. No one's above reproach. No one's below praise either, for the most part, because there's some demons out here on this earth. But this is not the human worship channel. This isn't, this guy's athletic, therefore he's worship, or therefore we hate him. I'm not a shock jock. I'm just a guy in a mask talking about stuff that I like to talk about. And I like talking about sports because it still is very fun. But I don't believe this sports thing is not corrupt. I approach everything like everything is rigged and everyone's on steroids, and that's just how I think. And it's not a me to bash people. I honestly think a lot, not that I'm encouraging steroid use by any means because there's a lot of health risks, but I mean, I think it can be a little bit overblown. And I think, realistically, most guys who are at a high level of athleticism, not only that they dedicated life to training and have great genetics and great skills and whatever, more than likely they're going to use some extra supplementation. Hell, LeBron James is apparently, his name is in the news for the Biogenesis Lab. We'll talk a little bit more about LeBron. I'm not going to talk too much about this outside of this. His name is on the Biogenesis Lab ledger, which it already was. This story came out a decade ago and no one did anything about it. But I guess it happened again. And I guess there's another thing about it. If I remember, the original story was there was a worker, and all she knew, she was just, an employee of Biogenesis, which was the steroid lab in Miami. She knew that Mr. Paul, who was presumably Rich Paul, would come and get steroids for LJ, who was presumably LeBron James. Never confirmed. Even the interview was just kind of on some smaller at the time channel. But it says, yeah, and I would rather play than watch. Talking about sports? I'd rather watch than play. We showed Matt from Fireball Productions in the chat. Hey, by the way, do you want to be a mod? But yeah, I'm going to add Dempsey as a mod. I think that was yes to that. I don't know. But we showed that Willis McGahee hit, man. But I never play football because of that hit. I asked you, Matt, but I'm just telling you, you're a mod now. You have the power whether you want it or not. But yeah, that Willis McGahee hit when I was young at Miami? Who were they facing a national championship game? I forgot. Whoever it was drilled this guy's knee. He still went on to be a great player, but golly, I could never experience something like that. Never. So I'd never play football as a result. So yeah. Let me bring Kick back up. I actually just took it down. But like I said, we got subjects. We got stuff to talk about. One thing I wanted to talk about, speaking of sports being rigged in football, there was this interesting game I mentioned it a little bit yesterday on the other channel during the game stream. We were streaming Spider-Man. 49ers versus the Rams. It was a solid game. You know, I liked Matthew Stafford, and I like tuning into his stuff. Didn't win, oh well. Oh, before you got hurt at work, you're very athletic, played a few sports and all that. Okay, I feel you. Depends on the sport, I guess. Maybe basketball. Less, I mean, even though guys have fucked their legs up with that too. But football, high contact sport, you know, I wish I could box. I wish I could do MMA, but I don't know if I could handle it. And actually, we'll talk a little bit about that right after this. But anyways, 49ers Rams, the end of the game, was a little closer than the score indicated, but it's 20-30, end of the game, last few seconds of the game. The Rams elect to kick a field goal, even though they're down 20-30. There's no means for them to come back. There's not enough time. They've lost the game. They know they're going to lose, but they kick a field goal anyway. And interestingly enough, the spread for that game was the 49ers by 7.5, meaning for those who aren't degenerate gamblers or don't know, they covered the spread. They covered the spread because the outcome of the game was within the spread. That means if you bet on the Rams with the points, with the 7.5 points, you win. So yeah, you tell me why do you think all sports are rigged? Why do you think everything's corrupt? Because of stuff like this. And this is not the first time something like that's happened. It won't be the last time something like that happens. But it happened and it was noticeable. And me and my brother was like, oh, come on. And when I looked up the spread and saw it was 7.5, I'm like, really? Really? It's just like this shit keeps happening. This is why I love sports. I'm not taking it seriously. Browns are down 4 with 7 minutes of the ball. Yeah, I was watching on that game. I didn't watch too much of the Saints-Panthers. I'm assuming the Panthers lost. I was trying to make music during the process because I got to get back onto that. I'm having an issue trying to do essentially 4 streams a week and clip out content, which I did do for the first podcast, and try to make music and work a full-time job and, you know, do other stuff, walk, try to get in shape and all that good stuff. So I'm having an issue with time management like I've had my entire life, so it is what it is. But the Browns are down. Yeah, you're so that means Cleveland guy from Detroit. We should be bitter enemies, I guess, even though they're basically the same city. Good luck. I mean, Deshaun Watson has looked okay. I saw Nick Chubb get injured. That sucks. Good luck to the Browns, I guess. I know they've been dominated by the Steelers the entire time they've existed in this iteration since '99. I know it's in Pittsburgh. So didn't they say this would be the first win like since '93? Meaning a totally different. That was the Ravens technically, because the Ravens obviously came from Cleveland and then they brought another expansion Browns. So that's a long time, 30 years. Jeez, yeesh. So good luck to the Browns. But yeah, the Rams covered the spread. Are you from a town outside of a city that changed the world forever more than once? A nothing town outside of a city that changed the world forever more than once. I'm assuming like Kent State area, because I'm like, what small towns in Ohio have changed the world forever more than once? So I'm not sure, but I'm not going to ask too much. I obviously, as a man with a penchant for secrecy, I'm in no position to ask people more information about themselves. But yep, the Rams covered. That was strange. It was strange. Can anybody who doesn't, I don't think anyone in this chat actually doesn't believe that there's something up with sports, but if I can clip this out, if there's anyone who doesn't think it's suspicious that the Rams kicked a field goal even though they had no ability to win and they just so happened to cover the spread, if there's nobody who thinks that's suspicious or somebody who doesn't think that's suspicious, please tell me why. Because I think it's suspicious. This is one of the reasons I think sports are rigged. I'm okay with sports being rigged because I'm a wrestling fan, but don't tell me Vegas has no impact on sports. Don't tell me the spread doesn't impact sports. Don't tell me the leagues don't have outcomes they want to happen. There's just no way. I just don't believe that. So if you got a reason, you got an excuse, you got something that you say, oh, no, this is why they would kick a field goal even though they can't win, I'd love to hear it. Please let me know. Please. All right, so let's actually just get right into kind of the main event topic, the thumbnail topic, so to speak. It's just that's, the bread and butter for this channel, at least. Most of the time I've had it, boxing. Errol Spence and Bud Crawford. Terrence Bud Crawford. Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford. Had a fight in July. Was it end of July, I believe? July 29th. And Terrence Crawford dominated the fight. I was unexpected for all, transparency purposes. I did pick Spence. It wasn't like a dominant, we're smoking on Bud on this side, even though we are literally smoking on Bud, but not Bud Crawford. But no, I was split. I was like, man, these are two good fighters. I have a healthy amount of respect for both men. I don't know who's going to win this thing. This has been going back and forth, for 5 years. Sometimes I feel like Bud. Sometimes I feel like Errol. I'm just going to pick Errol, and that was it. And so that's what I did. And I was wrong. It's okay. Bud beat the hell out of Errol. And now they have a rematch clause. And in that rematch clause, Terrence can pick the weight if Spence wants to enact it. Spence has enacted it, but Terrence can pick the weight. So why is all this relevant for those who don't know? They fought at welterweight, which is 147. They want to, or a lot of talk has been, Errol Spence should fight at super welterweight, which is 154. And Mike, I saw that too. I'll talk a little bit about that maybe right after this, because there's an interesting thing that may be going on with The Rock, John Cena, and maybe Batista. If you notice, they're all actors who aren't acting right now because of the strike, and now they're all back being wrestlers, which is what they started as. Don't think that's a coincidence. In fact, John Cena is booked for a short run. I want to say till the end of the year, maybe November, October. I'm not sure, but next couple months he's going to be on wrestling regularly. I guess, all right, that's it. That's all I have to say. But yeah, I think there's something up with that. But it was cool to see The Rock. And you know what? I might, sorry if I ignore the chat. I know it's only a couple of you, and I appreciate you here, but I do want to have these points so I can get better at clipping stuff out. That's one of my issues, clipping things out so they can be content, because that's the only way I'm going to draw people to it. And I hate really talking about the process of trying to draw people and stuff like that. You guys are cool. You guys are like friends. And but I do want this content to grow, because it is taking a lot of time. And I'm not the best content creator, but I think I deserve to be heard at a bigger scale than I have been. So I got to put the work in for it. In any event, all that ran aside, Errol Spence, Bud Crawford fought at 147. The rematch clause has been enacted by Errol Spence. Bud has the right to have it at 154, or whatever way he chooses. And there's been a lot of talk about this. Errol Spence also, if you notice, and I'm not the only one to notice, has shown a lot of, I'm not a medical professional of any kind. This is armchair physician, but I think it's safe and fair to say, even watching some of his videos, that he's probably had some neurological damage. Even in the way he talks, I know he has kind of a slow southern drawl initially, even before he had taken a lot of damage, he had that, and that's just how he talked. But it's something else going on. There's some weird videos with him and his wife, I believe, or girlfriend. There was one weird bubble bath video, and he seems like he's had some damage to his head. And not only has he been a boxer for the past however many years of his life, he's 33, I believe, 33, 34. So most of his life, he's been getting punched in the head. He had that horrific car crash a few years ago. You can look up pictures of the vehicle and him. He looked like Two-Face. Lots of scarring, lots of damage to himself, and presumably a lot of neurological damage on top of what being a boxer can do. Anyway, we already know from Ali, which there may be some extra stuff because he had no genetic marker for Parkinson's, but him and his brother both got Parkinson's. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories any more than I already have, right? But not just him, what's my man? Oh my God, he fought Vander Holyfield a bunch of times. Riddick Bowe has shown some issues. There's other fighters. It's kind of a common thing. Punch drunk fighters, they show neurological damage. They have neurological damage, and they're not able to talk. And function at the level they have been. You want to go outside of boxing, if you remember Earl Campbell, who was a great running back in the 70s. He had neurological issues for his life after, a lot of these sports, not all, but a lot of these sports are blood sports, man. And there's UFC, there's boxing, there's football, hockey should be thrown in there. Of course, any other combat sport I'm not mentioning, if you want to consider wrestling a sport, that too. There's a level of blood sports in it. And I don't think fans necessarily want to feel culpable. To a certain extent, it is the people who choose to go into these professions. It is on them. But, I'm a human being. My only way that I can kind of function and mitigate my own personal culpability is to encourage and be cool with guys retiring. And I said all that to say I am of the opinion that Errol Spence should retire from professional boxing. And that's probably an unpopular opinion, not just amongst the Spence fans who love him and think that 7 pounds is going to, and shout out to Will Smith, 7 pounds, I'm not going to make any slap jokes because I couldn't think of one, but that 7 pounds is going to reduce or get rid of all the neurological damage that he's already faced. It's not. It's not going to make him more susceptible to Bud's punches, or less susceptible, I should say. It's not going to make him more successful. I get there was a lot of talk about the weight cut, and I heard rumors that even Bud struggled with the weight cut. So it's a bit shocking that he would want to stay at 147. I've heard people with their own conspiracy theories that maybe this is something worked out that Bud can play hardball on the weight and give Errol some plausible deniability for not continuing with the rematch. But I don't think Errol should continue to fight professional fighting. I think he's had enough neurological damage, more than enough, and that's going to probably affect him the rest of his life. So I don't really feel comfortable seeing him fight Bud again, seeing him continue on. If he wants to go to 154, fight the Tim Zoos and the Harrison, a guy from Detroit, can't think of his first name right now because live. He might even win these fights, but he sustained so much neurological damage over his career, plus the accident, man. Plus, after seeing that fight with Bud, I don't think he can fight Bud. I don't think 7 pounds is going to make any difference. On top of that, we all can't forget that Ugas moment, the weird moment with the mouthpiece where he gets hit a second time. So it's just like, man, it's okay to call it a career. Again, I know a lot of probably Bud fans too, but a lot of Spence fans are not going to want to see that. Even some Bud fans who maybe do want to see him. It was such a heated rivalry without a fight for all this time. Maybe they want to see Errol get what they feel is his comeuppance again. But I don't really want to see the fight anyway. And I don't really feel comfortable watching Errol Spence, a guy I know has enough neurological damage that he probably shouldn't be fighting anymore. I remember Junior Seau. You guys remember him talking about the NFL. He played, 18, 19 years between the Chargers and at the tail end of his career, the Patriots. Did he play for the Dolphins a little bit? I can't remember. But he ended up self-deleting, we'll say. And a lot of people believe that was because of his neurological issues. It's a dangerous sport. These sports are dangerous. And he's already had a full career. He's 30-plus fights in. He's in his 30s. A lot of guys have retired at this age anyway. If he has that itch that he just can't scratch, like, man, I love fighting so much. We're in a different day and age. Floyd still does exhibitions. If he absolutely has to fight, absolutely cannot, like, man, you don't understand. This is what I love doing. I got to keep fighting. I would suggest, hey, fight Jake Paul, fight KSI, fight, what's his name, Tommy Fury, fight Logan Paul, fight Floyd maybe in an exhibition. There you go. This is stuff that you could do. If you absolutely have to fight, absolutely, there's still money out there in this exhibition world, in the quote-unquote freak show world. Well, I keep challenging Wings of the Redemption. I'm coming for you. No. But, like, seriously, if you really have to fight, if you really absolutely got to scratch that itch, do that, man. Because professional, trained killer fighters, man, even ones that you can beat, because he's still a talented fighter. I'm not throwing his talent out. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I'm saying how much neurological damage can he sustain and still be able to play with his kids, still be able to play with his grandkids. And I think we're probably already past that point. So adding on to that point is just going to make it worse. And so I don't think he should be fighting at all, let alone, the best fighter or one of the best fighters on earth right now, Terrence Bud Crawford. I just don't think it should happen. Do not think it should happen. I get it's an unpopular opinion, but that's what I think. So let's see what you guys are saying. Hell, Human Akami. Appreciate you being here. I hadn't checked out the chat for a little bit because I wanted to get through my point. That's kind of going to be the format I do on this podcast. That I get through the point, run through the point, and then check the chat because, got to make this clippable so people watch. Got to bring. I love you guys, but, I want more people to get the gift of Vigilante Williamson if there is thing. So, hell, Jana, you said Vig, Jana. Yes, the grind is real. It is a grind. You guys saying hey to each other. And then it's the Snyder Cut hangover. And then my man Human Akami, who I do remember. Well, but I also remember that you didn't like sports. But I appreciate you being back. What's going on? What'd you just get? Let me know. What did you just get, Human Akami? We're getting going with this stream. I don't think it's going to be super long. All right, 20 minutes in. I don't want to get super long. What is... YouTube has this fucking heart thing, so I can't see the message. What is this? 2 birds with 1 stone method. I like the 2 birds with 1 stone. Yeah, that's the only way I can get content out consistently. I haven't even done a good job of clipping it up. Hopefully that should be a clippable video. No, not 2 girls, 1 cup. No. Oh, God. That's the second time in 2 consecutive days that's been mentioned. Jeesh. Just got all games. Uh-oh. Somebody's hitting the emulation circuit. Oh, the NES games. Dope. Shout out to emulator. Is it emulator or did you get physical copies? Game Boy, NES, Game Boy. So this is emulated. Which emulation, man, that's the only way to get certain games, man. That's the only way to get certain games. And I love, I have RetroArch. I have issues streaming it. But it's fun to play when I can play it. So you got Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, NES, SNES. So the whole Nintendo catalog, I'm assuming. Human Akami, he's typing it out. Yeah, emulation is the way to go. Especially, like I said, some titles you cannot find physical copies for, and now we're in this post-physical copy. So if there's a PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4 game that only released digital and not being supported, you have no means outside of emulation. No means whatsoever. So N64, NDS, Nintendo DS, SMS. I do not know what the SMS is. Super Master System, Sega Genesis. Okay, I think we get we get it, man. I got a lot of games for a lot of these things myself. Game Gear. So okay. I love you, Human Akami. We're gonna get to the next topic. But I appreciate it. I'm a emulator fan. Hey, watch my game streams. Yeah, Sega Master System. It took me a minute to get that. Watch my game streams. Right now we're gaming. I actually game Tetris off the internet, which I won't do again because they tried to dox me. And we with the marketing, we need to use a VPN. In any event, we play games. I have issues playing retro games. Maybe I need to do more. Hell, Nosferatu. Appreciate you showing up on a sports stream. Just kind of missed the main event topic, talking about Spence and Crawford. I'm of the opinion Crawford would dominate Spence again. There's no point in doing a fight at all, and that Spence probably should retire. And if he really, really, really wants to fight on the freak show circuit, fight Logan Paul, fight Jake Paul, fight Tommy Fury. But him fighting professional fighters should be over because he's taking way too much neurological damage from fighting, plus the car accident, plus he got whooped on by Crawford. And so there's no point in doing that again. No point. Nobody listened when you said Crawford was going to wash Spence. I thought it was an evenly matched thing, and I was wrong. I'm like, oh, these are two. Because I have a tendency, I respect the hell out of these fighters, and so I have a tendency to kind of almost consider everything a 50-50 when it shouldn't be. Because I respect anybody who's crazy enough to get into a fucking ring or octagon and fight somebody who's a trained killer and try to beat them as a trained killer. I just have a crazy respect for that. So I can't help but to think that. Yep, I saw Nick Chubb get carted off the field. We having issues? Okay. So, it's still going as far as Human Okami. Sega CD, 32X, arcade. It's another thing I usually have issue with my arcade emulator. Game Gear, PS1, PSP, GameCube, Wii. Crawford is the best. It's been the best for. Yeah, the fangirls. I'm not a fan of any man, right? The Spence fangirls are pretty insane. Some of the Crawford fangirls can be a little bit ridiculous too. But there's no need to see Spence Crawford again. We've seen it. We know what it is. And Spence, and I'm not saying this is an excuse for Spence, right? Because he's the one who's came up with other side of the street. That wasn't my idea to hold off the fight, to get into a drunk accident running away from a rapper and fuck yourself up. That wasn't my idea. That was Spence's idea. So I'm not trying to cape for him, but I think he's taking too much damage. I don't want to see that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see this shit. This guy get fucked up again in the ring. He's not fit to be fighting. And honestly, he didn't offer that much offensively that makes me think even if he hadn't gotten into the accident that he would do great. That he would do, like if they would have had the fight in 2019, probably go similarly. Maybe it lasts longer. So Mr. V, that's a new one. What is your favorite game on the PS1? Interesting. What is your favorite game on the PS1? I would say, because my favorite game is probably still Final Fantasy VII. That's a common answer. But I'm going to say it's going to be something obscure, something I don't know of. Something I think. You know what? I'll go with a kind of just a PS1 era game that people love. Maybe Legacy of Kain? Blood Omen? What's it called? Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain? Legacy of Kain. Somebody's Legacy of Kain. There was Soul Reaver or Soul Reaper. Can't remember. And then Blood Omen. I'm going to go with Blood Omen. I was wrong. I didn't want to go with like some Metal Gear or Final Fantasy because those are like the two most common. Those are the two most common. Starts the letter R. Oof. Oh, man. People really thought a heavy pressure style was going to work against a master counter puncher. You know what? A lot of people, because we're in this weird era of boxing where the toughest fighters get ducked all the time, people have a feeling, he hadn't fought anybody, which wasn't true. He fought people at 140 and below, but he hadn't fought too many people at 147 that were too dominant, even though, some of those people he fought, even Avanesian, which a lot of people got mad at. I even got mad at a little bit. He's a good fighter, and he blasted them out, even though who knows what happened to those gloves. But I think a lot of people just didn't believe in Bud, and that was a mistake. That was clearly a mistake. Like I said, I picked Arrow, but it was like skin in my teeth. Do I give up? Oh, shit. I'm going through like what other I can't think of it, man. I do give up. I'm gonna hate it though. I am giving up though. Because part of me want to say Suikoden, Wild Arms, wait, there's an R. No, Twisted Metal. No. Yeah, Twisted Metal was fun. I've played Twisted Metal 2 on stream. Golly, I can't think of R. I'm sorry. Like I said, Suikoden, Wild Arms, Metal Gear, or the Metal Gear Solid series. Final Fantasy, Rayman, shit, damn it, I should have guessed Rayman, fuck, because that was a pretty cool game too. I should have guessed that, or Abe's Odyssey or something. Rayman, that was a dope game. That's a solid. There's a lot of great games on the PS1. Fuck, Parasite Eve, yeah. PS1 has some great fucking games, man. Ridge Racer that started with R. I could have guessed that. The PS1 era, yeah. I mean, you know what? Let's switch topics. I was going to get into a different topic. This will fit. because I wanted to talk a little bit about Winning Time being canceled. Because you didn't know, Winning Time is sports related. It's the show. I know Matt is a fan of it. It's a dramatization of the LA Lakers in the 1980s. And yeah, I did say I have a stream on my it's based on my gaming channel where I played Twisted Metal 2 for a little bit. Maybe I'll do you know what, man? If you are you sub to, let me put the other channel in the chat. If you're sub to it, man, we'll do a retro game just for you, man. Retro stream. I have issues with it, but I think I can set it up. And you know, I like retro games. I like retro games. Hold on, let's switch. Oh no, I don't want to switch this one. Where's my? If one of the mods can toss out the link to the other channel. Wait, actually, I have it here. I do have it here. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, man, join me on the other channel. Twisted Metal 2 is awesome. And I'm happy that they bought the. I haven't watched the show, but I'm happy the show exists because they maybe do another Twisted. I would love a modern Twisted Metal game, bro. Would love that. Star Wars Demolition was fun. Basically, Twisted Metal. I don't think I ever played that. With a Star Wars aesthetic. Twisted Metal 2 on the PS1. Is that what it says? Yeah, on the PS1. Yeah, just got Twisted Metal 2. Twisted Metal 2 is very fun. The whole Twisted Metal series. So they just brought it out as a series. I hope that's successful and they get a new game out of it. Because I would love a modern Twisted Metal game. But I started talking about the Winning Time when you brought up the PS1 and we just started, oh man, all these great PS1 games. Because Winning Time has been canceled. And I think this is something indicative of the modern entertainment industry that wasn't quite as indicative of the prior, oh man, human economy coming through with hot takes. But this wasn't necessarily the case with prior iterations of the entertainment industry. As a whole, you get less of a chance to fail, learn from your failure, correct it, and keep going. You don't. This show only lasted 2 seasons. Y'all know Cheers, it took 3 or 4 seasons for it to be successful. Y'all know Seinfeld, one of the biggest comedies in history, took 2, 3, 4 seasons to start being successful. Hell, Breaking Bad, one of the most beloved dramas. I only got 3 or 4 episodes in. I didn't like it. What does everyone tell me? You got to give it more time. Wait till season 2, 3, 4. You'll love it then. Everyone says this because the process of creating art, but the process of being creative and creating something can be a very difficult one. I am struggling something fierce making music, man. It feels like pulling teeth. It doesn't feel as natural as it used to. And I'm trying to work through it, but it's an unfun process. It takes time, though. It takes a lot of time. And the reason I switched to this topic while we talk about these PS1 games, and you guys are really getting to start Twisted Metal 4, Star Wars Jet Power Battles, Phantom Menace PS1 game, better than the movie, which wasn't a high bar to jump over. Medal of Honor. Do you remember Medal of Honor? Breaking Bad is ridiculous. It's worth the time. I see. Everyone says it's worth the time. But it does take time. It takes time to make entertainment. And all those PS1 games, a lot of them, because shout out to Gamers, it's a great channel that does these video game documentaries, but just games from that era. A lot of them had a lot smaller budgets than we have now. And a lot of those game staffs, maybe made a game or two before that maybe wasn't as popular. I do not make Peruvian pan flute music. I don't know what I make. I guess it's like synth wave and new wave and hip hop. But there's a lot of different entertainment mediums where the people who made it took multiple iterations. Maybe not of this game, maybe not of this series. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it took to the second or third one to get it right, but maybe they had made games before, and maybe the game before wasn't as successful, but they got another opportunity. But we're not in that day and age with any part of entertainment. If you don't do it in a couple weeks, in a couple episodes, in a couple seasons, you're done. you do not get the chance to keep going. You do not get funded. So a lot of these great games we're talking about, the reason they existed is because, one, you have a small budget, because you do need a small. I remember Siphon Filter. I played quite a bit of Siphon Filter. Remember 989 Games? They had a snowboarding game. That studio doesn't exist anymore. But you had tons of different people, tons of different studios. Yes, things got filtered through Sony and Nintendo. We're talking about games. If you're talking about TV, they got filtered through the big four networks, but there were a bunch of independent studios out making content, out pitching pilots to channels. You need independence, and you need the ability to fail and get better. And the entertainment industry doesn't allow that anymore. And that's why we're in the state that we're in, because the good stuff isn't getting time to develop. The people who are good don't get time to develop. I brought this up before about the great, I just forgot his name. I'm thinking of all his movies. Quentin Tarantino, the great Quentin Tarantino, who he said he made a movie that he never released in the late 80s, early 90s. It took him 3 years to go through the process, every single process of making a movie that was terrible and unreleasable, but he learned how to make movies through the process of making something that was unreleasable. He learned how to make movies. And then you have, of course, Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. He wrote From Dusk Till Dawn, and Off to the Races, being one of the legendary directors and writers of Hollywood, especially the past 30, 40 years. And it took him failing. It's okay to fail. And yes, we did watch the Matrix movies. Yeah, the Matrix, Path to Neo. Even that one Matrix game with Jada Pinkett Smith. It was Jada Pinkett Smith and some Asian guy. Back when she was just Jada Pinkett. She didn't even have a Smith, I don't think. Maybe she did. I can't remember. But there were some cool Matrix games. True Romance 2. Yep, True Romance. That's another one he was involved. Did he write and direct that or just write it? I can't remember. But yeah, you get better by failing and learning. And if the entertainment industry doesn't want to give shows like Winning Time a chance, and I heard good things about it. I heard it wasn't necessarily the most accurate to history, but I heard positive things about it. Obviously, Matt was a big fan. And it gets 2 seasons, that's it. You don't get a 3rd season to try to correct or whatever and maybe draw people in. That's it. And, you're a musician, your first single doesn't work, you're done. It took Prince 5 albums to break through. 1999 was his 5th album. He really had to restart on Dirty Mind because his first 2 were like kind of disco pop. Then he became the 80s, so he went to this like over-sexualized new wave style that it took him then another 2 albums to refine to get to the point of 1999. Then he's the big pop star. Then you have Purple Rain. Then you have, Kiss and all the hits. After he went through the process of producing albums, on his 5th album he breaks through. He would never get the chance now. And technically he did have a hit on the 2nd album, but I don't know if he gets to his 2nd album. Your first album doesn't work, you're done. First movie doesn't work, you're done. First show doesn't work, first season doesn't work, you're done. That's it. You don't get the chance to learn, and that's why the entertainment industry is in the state is in. I guess he only wrote True Romance. Enter the Matrix. Yep, that is the other game. That's the other game. I played a bunch of both. Interesting fact about that Prince Charlie Murphy game before we get back to sports. Do you know, and this was not said on the thing, Eddie Murphy was part of Charlie Murphy's team. So he didn't just school Charlie Murphy, he schooled Eddie Murphy as well. And Prince didn't make the only other thing that's not true outside of Prince floating in the air was Prince didn't make his pancakes. The assistant did, but he did suggest it. It was his suggestion to make pancakes. But he was Purple Rain Prince. He had an assistant. His assistant did it. Zax, we're talking Prince, video games, and sports. Some hardcore sports. Speaking of hardcore sports, a violent incident, if you will, happened on Saturday. If you've been following the Colorado Buffaloes and Deion Sanders, and he brought over a lot of people in the transfer portal, including his son Shadir Sanders, and of course, 2-way player, cornerback / wide receiver Travis Henry, who received, unfortunately, a lacerated liver and a play that got a penalty. I think it was some contact after the play. Not contact, it was violent after the play. A shove, tackle sort of thing after the play, and he ends up with a lacerated liver. And maybe Central Dildo doesn't want the hardcore sports in these streets, Zach's, but he's not here. And he has a lady friend that swaps fluids with. So, he's human. But back to Colorado. Back to Travis Hunter. That's who I guess it's all of Colorado, right? I couldn't help but to, even though I've been a champion to some extent of Deion Sanders, I think a lot of the hate he's getting is BS. I think it's a bit because there's a lot of old coaches who don't like the new system because they haven't learned it yet with the NIL and the transfer portal, which is more a player empowering sort of thing. And I'm all for him. I wish him the best, and I hope he does well, and I hope other coaches kind of adopt a more player-friendly approach to coaching, even though he's still hard on those players, make no mistake. But he's not unfair to the players. So I like that. But maybe he's being a little unfair to the players in another way. He's talking a lot of cash. When Deion himself was playing, he talked a lot of cash. He could talk to cash because he could go out there and back it up. He could write the checks with his mouth that he could cash out there in the field. But he's not going out there in the field anymore. And you got to remember, if you're playing college, and a lot of people think Travis Hunter, I call him Travis Henry, Travis Hunter can make the NFL at either cornerback or wide receiver, mainly cornerback, I believe. Man, if you're going to keep writing this check and keep being braggadocious, which I don't mind personally, but you got to know other players who aren't going to make it to the NFL. And I mentioned that the NFL and football can be a blood sport just like anything else. Sometimes they're going to be the ones to cash it. Your players are going to be the ones to cash it. Yeah, there are going to be players on the opposite team who say, no, I want to hurt Travis Hunter because his coach keeps talking so much shit. And plus, Colorado, that was a rivalry game. I don't know what rivalry is. Shout out to Elmer Fudd. It was a rivalry game. But yeah, there are going to be players like, you know what? I want to fuck him up. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to impede him for the purpose of winning. I want to hurt him. I want to cause this guy pain because his coach is talking shit. And I'm not going to get the chance that guy's getting. I don't get it. There's guys you're playing against who don't have an NIL deal. I'm just a guy. And I don't know if the player that hit him is in one of those cases, but you're going to have guys who are like, no, I'm not going to the NFL. I don't have an NIL deal. And they're talking all this shit against us. Fuck him. There's going to be guys like that. So, I'm not telling Coach Prime what to do. I don't know how much draw this clip will get or this podcast will get. We can get up to 1,000 every now and again. Over 1,000. We've gotten, 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 views on the video before. Maybe this will be, maybe this will somehow reach Coach Prime in some way. I doubt it. But if it does, man, I'm not telling you not to do what you're doing. I think what you're doing is working. I like what you're doing. I like the fact that you're upsetting, dare I say, the good old boys club in college football. There's a lot of corruption and bullshit there, and I'm glad there's someone to kind of rattle the cages, so to speak. But you got to know you are putting targets on your players' back. It was one thing when you went out there yourself and you would talk all the trash you wanted to and then back it up in game when you were the player. But now they have to do it. And you got to be conscious of that, man, because this guy has a lacerated liver. He's going to be out at least 4 weeks, maybe more to get back in shape. Apparently, it is something you can heal from, but it sounds pretty fucked. Just lacerated liver. Who the fuck wants a lacerated liver? Sounds like horrible. Sounds horrible, man. Oh, man. So, yeah, man, I love Deion. I think he's doing good things in Colorado, but I think he might be writing a check that his players have to cash in. Yeah, I don't know what the player's motivation for doing what he did to Travis Hunter was, but it could be that. And it may, even if it wasn't that, it may be next week. Maybe somebody helmets to helmet Shedeur, like, I don't care if I get a penalty. I don't care if I get ejected. You don't know what's going through, We talk about the struggle of a young man nowadays. You don't know what's going through some of these guys' head. So, yeah. Okay. So let me go back to the chat because we're about to wrap up. Do we only have one more segment? We do only have one more segment. Yeah, this is what I want from this stream. Not going an hour, maybe an hour. Travis Hunter is good, but he's going to be out for a while now, Zax. He's going to be out. And so, cheers, where the fuck is Cinch Dildo? Cinch Dildo, he was around for a little. He came late to yesterday's stream. Travis Barker. Travis Barker, my man from Blink-182. All the small things. Yeah, he was on the he was in the chat the other night. But that he'd been missing in action for a little bit. He had been missing in action. How come, Nas, you racist bigot? How come you don't ask me to sing? Oh no, you did ask me to sing a rock song. I was about to call you. I was call you racist bigot. I can't say that. You did. Say it ain't so. I will not go. Turn the lights on. Carry me home. Na 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 na. Unprepared cover of All the Small Things, which I was a Blink-182 fan. I liked Blink-182. I bought like 2 of their CDs when you had to buy CDs. That's $40 in 90s money. That's a lot of money, man. It's like $100 in 100 money. I'm not even exaggerating. It's like probably like $70 now. Because remember, CDs were like $15, $20 back then. I bought their live CD and another one. I can't remember the other one. I remember the live one. Dazed and Confused by Zeppelin. So I don't know that offhand. Yeah, clip it. Jesus, I need clips. For fuck's sakes, clip it. I need clips. I need more people to watch my content desperately. For fuck's sakes, clip that and put that out. Holy smoke. Man, I don't know it offhand. What was the song you asked me to sing yesterday? I'm adding this to the list. Oh, Jesus. Control V. Fuck it, I can't see. What was the song that you asked me to sing? So now Dazed and Confused by Zeppelin. Once I learned the lyrics, there was something else that I can't remember. Once I learned the lyrics and the cadence, I got you, man. I got you. But we're going to get out of here on this. One more subject. It's not going to be too much longer. There's been a lot made recently. You don't have a clip to anything? I'll clip it out. I'll do it. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. No, we did Country Grammar. It was another rock song. See, I got to hear the song and sing it, and I'm not just going to go, half cock. I don't know the song like I know other songs. I knew Country Grammar, but I just didn't know the lyrics, but I knew the cadence and stuff and everything. But I can't just, I like a lot of rock, but I just can't do that. In La Gata La Vida, honey, don't you know that I'll always love you? That's all I know. Don't you that's all I know, man. That's the best I can give you. I'm sorry, buddy. Zach, you don't have to do that. I know Kai said that. I appreciate, a lot of these people came from you, Flaccid, Kai, and a lot of people in the chat. I love you guys, man. I love you guys. And more people want to come over. That's cool. But, man, unless I have an organic way of generating people to watch this content, nothing matters. You know what I'm saying? So I got to do it myself, man. I got to do more clips. I know what the shorts algorithm can do. I'm not using it to the best of its ability. The fault is mine. As much as I hate the shadow banning for the other channel that they do, the fault is mine that I've not done more with shorts. No one else's. I know you're not asking. Yeah, but still, as much as I appreciate, hey, do what you want. I'm not going to tell you not to. I need all the help I can get. But I got to find organic ways to grow, or else I'm fucked. But let's talk about talk for this last segment. Let's talk about sports talk. A lot has been made of the recent transition, not that type of transition, of Shannon Sharpe going from FS1, Fox Sports 1, to ESPN. And I have not watched any of it because I never watched Undisputed. I don't watch Nick Wright's show. I don't watch a lot of sports talk because they only talk about one topic primarily. is LeBron James better or is Michael Jordan better? And yes, there are other topics. They used to talk about Tom Brady. That was the other topic that they were talking about. But they have beaten that topic to death. And from that topic comes the toxic, disturbing, useless way that infects all of sports talk, which makes it completely unwatchable to me. I cannot consume it. I cannot watch it. It is garbage to me because I cannot hear these guys say the same tired arguments over and over. And I cannot deal with this like ridiculous standards that we now have to hold every pro athlete to. We're one of the laziest generations in human history, as you can see from your boy. We're one of the most physically inept generations as far as the average person in human history, especially here in the West. Yet we hold these athletes to insane standards consistently. And the source, the agent zero or the patient zero, no Gilbert Arenas does the same shit. But the patient zero is the LeBron James, Michael Jordan debate. And apparently, if you're international, was it Messi, Ronaldo? Similar debate. This is gotta end. Firstly, they're both great players. And listen, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy. I might edge out a little bit of Jordan, but Jordan's not above reproach. He did jack up a lot of shots. He did punch his teammates. He did a lot of things. He did gamble a lot and didn't have to face the wrath that he would have in the social media age. Yeah, if you're really hardcore with the conspiracies, may have had something to do either the gambling or some real dark shit, if you really want to go there, with his own father passing. So he's not above reproach. And yeah, neither is LeBron. The fact that LeBron James has hired all these people to Clutch Sports, including the aforementioned Shannon Sharpe and Nick Wright. No, Nick for sure is a Clutch Sports client, which is, if you don't know, Clutch Sports is the sports agency that LeBron runs with Rich Paul, who, as I mentioned earlier, Rich Paul is allegedly the guy who helped LeBron get his goods from the Biogenesis lab. Allegedly. But it's not alleged that the guy, I want to call him Nicolas Cage, Nick Wright, because he looks kind of like Nicolas Cage nowadays with his hair. But Nick Wright is confirmed to be a part of Clutch Sports. Him hiring these people has done so much damage to his own legacy. No one has done more damage to LeBron James' legacy outside of himself than Nick Wright and Shannon Sharpe. Goat James, all this stuff, they're funny memes, but it's antagonistic. All the antagonistic garbage that has come from these two, and I'm sure a lot of it was Clutch Sports either approved or sponsored or suggested, but all that notwithstanding, these two have actually done more damage to LeBron's legacy. They haven't helped it. They haven't enhanced it. They've only pissed off people who disagree. And I get it. I'm somebody who says this statement all the time: controversy creates cash. I get it. I understand that. But controversy also wears on people. So you get that burst, you get, this person said something I don't like about my player, whether it's LeBron or Jordan, or mainly, LeBron is usually, he's the crux or whatever. And you'll get that rage, hate fuck out of a fan. But afterwards, eventually they'll burn out and say, I don't want to watch this anymore. That's why a lot of the ratings, they've talked about a lot of the ratings of how great they've been. Compare them to 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't think they hold up. So, man, this debate has to stop. And again, this is why I don't have ESPN. I cannot keep ESPN in the house, where a generation ago, all I did was watch ESPN. It was the favorite thing to do. And the main issue, and this is why I have my little manifesto or whatever at the beginning of these episodes, is because it sucked the fun out of sports, man. I just like watching cool shit. I like watching people dunk on each other, comebacks in games, collapses, people score touchdowns, people hit home runs. Some of the stories, the subtext, people, like we talked about, failing and getting better, seeing the progression. This is what I like about sports. I don't like all this catty gossip bullshit. And that's what sports talk has become, and it's hurt sports for it. You know, I'm not the only person who's returning to the NFL this season. A lot of the politics and the bullshit pushed a lot of people away from the NFL the past few years. I know Matt has said he's returned to the NFL. My own brother is returned to the NFL. I am, of course. There's other people, oh man, I haven't watched a game in a few years. And they're just like, you know what? It's Sunday, I'll check it out. And it is fun. It was fun. You know, yesterday I spent the whole day with Bro Vigilante watching football. It was fun. And this sports talk bullshit has sucked the fun and the life out of sports. Stop. No one cares. They're both great. They both have problems. They both fucked up. Everyone fucks up. And Jordan is probably a little bit better, but that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It doesn't mean he's a god. Even though I do want to buy, they have a lot of Jordans that's out, and I cannot spend my income on this. I'm trying to buy a house. I am trying to get my credit in order, so I cannot do it. But there were some Jordans I saw that I wanted to get. In any event, I'm going to check the chat for one more time, and then we'll probably get out of here because we're keeping this short. Keeping this short because we're not going 3-4 hours on these sports streams. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Shannon Sharp. Oh, Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless and Screaming A. Smith were the Skip. I got to say it, Skip, because this is what I used to call him, right? This is a gamer term. It means happy. Skip Bayless and Screaming A. Smith ruined sports talk, bro. They ruined it. And so I hate them both, and then everyone copied them because it was successful. Another one, Goku and Superman. Yeah, come on, it's Goku because Superman can't. He has no martial arts experience. Shit. If Superman's losing to Batman, what the fuck is Goku gonna do to him? It's Shannon Sharp is a bundle of sticks. Zach said that. Listen. LeBron loves that commie cash. That's also true. Punching your teammates is based. Oh shit. Well, I guess you know what. If you're gonna, I was going to accuse you of racism, but you're for black guys punching white guys, so I can't do that. I heard the mob I heard that shit too. I heard that shit too, Nosferatu, that the mob took out Jordan's pops to send a message. That's what I heard. And hell, Boosh, you say LeBron's ego did that? That's fair. Look, that's why I said outside of LeBron himself. LeBron's, the crying to the refs, bro. Especially, remember when they were in Miami and LeBron is like this he is, and this is going back to the biogenesis thing. When he played for Miami, I had never seen a basketball player that big that can move that fast ever in my life. And so you have this guy who looks like the Incredible Hulk flopping and crying every single time he's touched. It was I did watch it. I can't say unwatchable, but it was infuriating. And he's huge. Muscles on top of muscles, huge. And he's doing this when like a small 5'11" guard touches him. It's like, this is ridiculous. And he choked in that fucking thing. Listen, I get why people pick Jordan over LeBron. I'm not going to get into the debate. But godly, because they act like little fangirls over this shit. And like I said, Jordan ain't above reproach. Like you say, Mike got his dad clapped. There's a high percentage chance that Jordan got his own father clapped. And here are games where Jordan would go like 3 for 18 or some shit, and Scottie Pippen had to step up, or somebody else had to step. It does happen. Then there's times when Jordan took the team on his back where everybody was fucking up and he did his thing. He deserves credit and blame, whatever. But yeah, the LeBron, some of that stuff was whew. Oh my God! You made the best team. You're in the best physical shape in the league, and you're crying over fouls. Whew. You brought me back to a dark place, Boosh. Boosh, as Zach says. And yeah, ESPN is dog water now. Unwatchable dog water. Can't do it. They started getting political. Yep, I remember they brought in Rush Limbaugh. And you said it was stupid. You listened to him. You know what? Grangelander used to listen to Rush. He used to listen to conservatives, and he still does listen, even though he's a Democrat. And I think he even funds, and I got to check on him because he's having some issues. But he would listen to both. That's part of why I will always see both sides of the aisles, because that's what I was raised. You know what I mean? You have a guy, Black Democrat, still listens to a conservative radio station because he wants to hear both sides. So that I always thought that was cool. So shout out to Rush. Rush was also a pretty good broadcaster for whatever, agree with, disagree with. And you know something else? Y'all remember that Donovan McNabb thing? Bro had a point. I hate to say it, man. Is Donovan McNabb really that great of a quarterback? Let's really be honest. I hate to say it. He called that shit. It sounded crazy then. Well, he basically accused ESPN of being what we would now call woke for Donovan McNabb. And it was a lot of controversy because of the way he said it or not. But Donovan McNabb, I don't know if he really was. He was a good quarterback, definitely. He was definitely a good quarterback. But they hyped him up like he was a great one. And he never really was. And when he was in the Super Bowl, I guess it's Terrence Crawford. Terrell Owens, who everyone talked shit about, but it came back from a broken fucking leg in the Super Bowl, having a game of his life. And Donovan McNabb, when you need him most, is literally throwing up on himself. Literally. You can get mad at it. I'm not trying to. And then it comes out Donovan McNabb apparently used to shit on Deshaun Jackson when he was a rookie, saying he didn't deserve to be on the Pro Bowl team. Motherfucker, you didn't deserve to be on the Pro Bowl team a lot of years. Are you serious? Especially because that team, this is back when defense mattered. You remember how sweet that secondary was with Brian Dawkins and those guys? They used to fuck people up. That's back when you could fuck people up. And that secondary used to fuck people up. They had a great defense, great team around them, and he never fucking won. So Rush, you brought up when Rush was on there. I remember that. I agreed with it then. I was based then. I said, you know what, because he wasn't even the best black quarterback Vic was, which is why they were better when they eventually went to older Vic. So the Donovan McNabb was overrated. Rush Limbaugh has been vindicated. Rush Limbaugh has been vindicated. Hot take of hot takes. Piping white hot take. Rush Limbaugh was right with his criticism of Donovan McNabb. Hell Dempsey by tossing out the other channel. Please sub. They will undo your sub because that's what they do. YouTube is shadow banning me, but I still love it. Please sub if you can. Maybe it might help out because if they accept the new subs and unsub inactive people, it may mean I have a more active base. So it could actually work out. Skip Bayless is a blonde harpy. He says boosh. He kind of is. Those to grown men assessing on other men. Yeah. That's why that's not what this sports talk is. We're going to talk. We're going to have fun. This is about fun. We're not going to worship men. It's kind of gay. Oh man, Wimbaugh and Kornheiser were the best. They were the standard everybody was trying to reach because it was PTI, you had Around the Horn, and then they would go into Sports Center, and that was the best couple hours of talk. And then everybody wanted to be PTI until they did their own version on First Take. Remember Cold Pizza? They tried to do it on Cold Pizza, and they became First Take. And they ended up with Skip Bayless and Screaming A. Smith. And they were supposed to be Wilbon and Kornheiser, but they weren't because Wilbon and Kornheiser were friends. That's what made it work. So if they got heated, they would just talk shit about each other, and it would be funny. And they had you can't teach that shit. You can't teach people to be friends for like years. And that's why they had such a great, and I haven't watched it recently. I'm sure they still have a great rapport, but you can't teach that shit. He could never really retire, be flopping in parking lots at Walmart. Well, shit, he taught the world flopping. And Wade would do it too. I borrowed Brown in that Miami, and Wade did it too. Not everybody flops. That's why they can't win an international competition because they're so used to flopping and getting the call. Hello, Zax. He was good on the Heat, but he had a great team around him. It has much hype, yeah. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, exactly. Chris Bosh, Birdman was on that team. I didn't realize that. Remember Matt Miller. Remember Shane Battier, Ray Allen, as you mentioned. That team was stacked. Even what's the guy that they don't like? He was a good shooter. Played for Kansas. I can't think of his name. He was a brother. Played for Kansas. He was a good shooter. And they don't like him because he used to talk shit to LeBron then. He used to say, LeBron, you're the best fucking player. Why are you always complaining? Like, you're the best player. Like, be the best player. And LeBron didn't like that. And I cannot think of the guy's name. He hit the big shot when he was at Kansas. Somebody knows this. Somebody knows this. LeBron's a loser for not punching a teammate. McNabb was the best. He was good. McNabb was the best for Philly in a while, absolutely. McNair, I forgot about McNair. Steve McNair was great. Steve McNair, when he was for Tennessee, remember he got an MVP? Romo's a good color guy, no racist, but he can predict the play calls to a ridiculous degree. There's a lot of people who, in the sports are rigged community that think Romo's not predicting those plays. Let's just say that. Hell, Kaya Befesh, you're coming in at the tail end. You're coming in at the tail end because we keep these streams short. We can't go 2 hours talking sports, man. We can't go 2 hours. Plus, I got to edit this shit and actually put out clips. So it's 11:30. I'm not going to do a stream tonight. I am going to do a stream tomorrow on this channel with Matt from Fireball Productions. We're still culture crime fighters, but now we're clueless anti-football pussies of John Gruden fame. That was something that John Gruden said about the current commissioner, that he's a clueless anti-football pussy. And so that's going to be the name of the new podcast. We already did an episode. We just called it Culture Crime Fighters because it was impromptu. But starting with week 2, we kind of break down stuff in the league and just talk about whatever we want because that's what we do. Anyway, didn't follow basketball, but Ryan Artest is my favorite player for beating up. Hey, he beat up people from Michigan. No. Remember Jermaine O'Neal, though? Holy shit. You know, we will see, just hanging out in the stream before I start my show, no worries. That's the clip we need to end on. The Malice in the Palace, and I just really want to see Jermaine O'Neal's punch. Jermaine O'Neal knocked somebody into another universe. Like, into another millennium. Into the spirit world. Oh, my God. Oh, shit. So, yeah. Let's, continue to cover this. Hopefully they show the whole clip. I'm hoping they show the whole clip. Jermaine O'Neal drills this guy. Fucking drills a fan. Holy shit. He hits this guy harder than he hits this guy harder than life, man. Oh, Drunken Poet, he's on Kick. You also can be on Kick. Please follow, please, and all that good stuff. You can also keep up a tab on Kick so we can get more people to watch the Kick. Want to grow with that platform. But yeah, let's look at this. Let's see. Hopefully they show it. Let me turn it up. All right.
Incident between the Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons fans. Again, you know, we cannot drive this home enough. This is something.
I thought she did it.
The board of the four of us here.
Hold on. I had thought, okay. When I first saw it, I thought she did it.
Across the board of the four of us here.
But he went
around a lot of sporting events.
Hit this guy. He apparently did not do it.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Oh!
The age of electronics is kicking in because I just
look
got
at this.
A beat from Joe.
Bang!
One of the things he's taking issue with.
Oh, he knocked this guy. Not to steal Mike Breed's stick. Bang!
And one of the things he's taking issue with is us.
Holy shit!
Right now and
let's can I get it again, please?
Well,
Can the booth give me this one more again?
Kicking in because I just got a beat from Joe.
Oh, sliding. He hit him with a Street Fighter quality punch. Oh, I got 2 viewers now. Somebody else hit on Kick. That's the greatest. Yeah, we still are plugging with the music, man. Still plugging. I played some of the stuff the other day. You know, because I got it rendered, I can play a couple of the beats right now, I guess, to play us out. But yeah, that was my highlight of that whole thing. Was that fucking punch? You point this way because it's what I was saying. That fucking punch, man. Jermaine O'Neal sliding his long ass arm. Let's go. You know what? We need this one more time.
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Well,
this is the worst thing. We need more of this. Fuck the fans. Beat their ass.
One of the things he's taking issue with is us sitting up here right now.
Hundreds of, well, that back then it wasn't hundreds of dollars. You want to pay dozens of dollars, $2,005, which is again hundreds of dollars, to see a basketball game. Get punched in the face. That's the risk you
It's
take.
kicking in because I just
This
got
is
a
Detroit,
beat
bitch.
from Joe
Ah.
Dumars, and one of the things he's
He's
taking.
a big guy, too. I shouldn't do that to my fellow big Michigander. I shouldn't do that, but it's funny. It's fucking hilarious, man. It's fucking hilarious. Okay, we'll play some beats to get out. To get out of here. But I gotta go because I have to fucking edit this shit. Because my shadow won't grow like if I don't try. So what do we got? Okay, let's do with this. We're really doing this? Okay, hold on. Okay. Actually, hold on, beat. Interesting factoid about this beat, because I'm going to go to the screen, and you're going to see the date, because I just named it after the date it was made. Google the date it was made. I made this beat at a very infamous date on the year 2020. You guys can see the date that I made that beat, and the incident of basically the biggest incident of 2020 happened the same day I made this fucking beat. We want to talk about some eerie shit. Fucking here goes. Let's play. We're gonna go with this beat. We're not gonna go with everything because I already did that. We're gonna go with this beat and then we'll get out of here. I'm actually gonna have it on the background as we get out of here, because we gotta get out of here. I gotta edit this shit, man. I love you guys. Oh man, happy guys. So hey, if you care about sports, and I don't know how audible I am, please watch the playback, man. If you came late, please watch the playback because we gotta get out of here. I'm tired. I gotta edit. So if you like the video, yes, it does. It's inspired by that. It's inspired by the water level. It's the same. It's in the same key, and I had to change it, so it didn't have the same thing. It's very inspired by that water level. It's almost, listen, for legal purposes, it's not a recreation, but it was. I was trying to go for that same sound of the water level in Donkey Kong. So you saying that's like, yeah, you guys are actually hearing my fucking influences. So Dempsey has the other channel. Please check that out. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share, subscribe, please do that. Even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Good night and God bless. Shout out to Nas for actually hearing that. So this sounds like the Donkey Kong level. It was inspired by the water music. It's not in the same. I think I moved it out of that key, but when I originally came up with the beat, it was in that same key, and I had to move out of it. I may not have though, because I smoke weed and I get lazy. So please like the video, all that good stuff. We're getting out of here. Got to edit this video and show clips. So I'll talk to all you guys later. Peace.